Did the PMO scrub the nanny and the in-laws from the official record? I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Was there political interference in an access to information request on who went on vacation with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his family to St. Kitts last December? Documents obtained by the Rebel through access to information would seem to indicate that. As has been reported by the Rebel and other media outlets, the Christmas vacation taken by Trudeau and his family has already been the subject of controversy. CBC reported in August that the original flight manifest released publicly excluded three key names: Marion Piello, one of the nannies working for Trudeau and his family, as well as Jean Gregoire and Estelle Blais, his in-laws. That original manifest was released last March. Months later, middle of the summer, a second manifest was released. Those names were added. That's beyond odd. Normally, if something is redacted from an access to information request, there's a small note indicating that it was done for privacy or security reasons, and all the allowable reasons are spelled out in the Access to Information Act. In this case, there was no such explanation. In fact, if you looked at the first release of the manifest, there would be no indication any information was missing at all. So what happened? Well, that's not exactly clear. But what newly released documents show is that before any information was released, three staffers inside Trudeau's office, inside the PMO, were contacted and asked what, if any, information they would want removed from the flight manifest before it was released publicly. Then magically and without explanation, the three most politically inconvenient names were dropped from the manifest: the nanny and the in-laws. Here's part of the email sent by Maureen Kay, operations manager at 412 Squadron. That's the military wing that provides air transport to the government and other dignitaries, including the Prime Minister. It's addressed to several people, including Jean Ziricelli, Director of Operations in the PMO, his executive assistant, Kate Van Gervan, and the Manager of Operations, Naomi Julian. The email reads in part, "It has been determined that the enclosed Challenger mission report is of interest to your institution. It is requested that your office review the document and provide recommendations for the release of information. Please note that rationale must be provided for any portions recommended for redaction." Now, there's no reply from anyone included in the documents asking for names to be dropped. But after this email, the politically embarrassing names are dropped with no explanation, no rationale for the redaction. I've spoken to several former PMO staffers about this, and they call the email odd, unusual, potentially against the rules, or even illegal. In fact, in the past, Liberals have berated the Conservatives over what they claimed was political interference in access to information released. Back in 2006, the Liberals called for an investigation after then PMO Director of Communications Sandra Buckler was CC'd on an email that included a reporter's name, the reporter that had asked for the access request. And at that time, the Liberals demanded an investigation. In 2009, Sebastian Tongneri, a staffer at then Public Works Minister Christian Paradis' office, was found to have interfered in the release of an access request, and the Commons erupted in furor. Also of interest in this current case, the passenger manifest, it was sent to the Privy Council office, the Prime Minister's department. They were given a minimum 10 days heads up to prepare communications lines, talking points for any media questions. A full letter was sent by Kimberly Empey at the Department of National Defense to the PCO on February 11th, telling them they may want to be ready. Quote, "The enclosed document relevant to the request has been prepared for release in accordance with the ATIA. In order to ensure that your institution is allotted the necessary time to prepare communication materials related to this release, we are providing a copy of the portions of the record that may be of interest to you." Goes on to explain that they plan to release the documents on February 25th, and they're giving them time to prepare. Former Conservative staffers that I've spoken to at the PMO level and the ministerial level tell me it would be common to get a heads up of a day or so before something was released, just saying, hey, this is going out, but not more than a week to prepare talking points, and never with the request that political staff make recommended changes on what should be released. What these documents show is a level of coordination and potentially interference within the Trudeau PMO that goes against the openness and transparency he campaigned on, the promises he made. On the face of it, there's enough information here for the Information Commissioner to launch an investigation into political interference. The question is, will she?
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.